So in this video, I'm going to talk about kind of our equipment, our truck, our trailer, a review of those things. I'm going to talk about our last couple of years that we've been on the road, and I'm going to talk about whether it's been a good experience or a bad experience, and whether we're going to keep going. And this is this is my annual push pin map ceremony. So we have two maps in our house. One is of all the national parks and national monuments, and every year I go in and put new pins in the ones that we hit that year. And then I've got one with cities, and I do the same there. And you can see we're mainly in the Tennessee area now. And then in a couple of years when Emily retires, we're going to get focused on that other map and start hitting national parks and national monuments with gusto. You'll see in this video also, we are going to hit a national park, and this is our big trip, our 2,000-mile trip to Everglades National Park, our longest trip ever. So part of our travel goals are to get off the couch. The kids have gone off to college, so it's just Emily and I. We're both still working, but our goal is to get off the couch and go do things that we've never done before. I want to go see places I've never seen before. So in 2019, I got pretty serious. I started a kind of a diary, put a website up, and started a YouTube channel just to edit videos and put them out on the internet, mainly to store them because they're huge 4K videos. And along the way, some people started watching them, which was fine. Not really the goal. In 2020, we bought an RV, and I'd never owned an RV or pulled a trailer before in a truck, so I had to figure out how to do all that, which has been fun. So I made a video about kind of our first trip and kind of preparing for that, and a lot of people have watched that video, so you might want to watch that. And then we hit the road, mainly traveling around the Nashville, Tennessee area. Started with the goal of just hitting a bunch of Tennessee state parks, and we spent 2020 doing that. Made it to one national park out in East Tennessee, the Great Smoky Mountains. That was our big trip for the year. And then last year in 2021, we continued that. We hit more Tennessee state parks. I added in some tent camping. I'd never really done that before, so we did some backcountry camping, or I did some backcountry camping. Did a little bike packing. And then the goal for this year is going to be more of that. So the goal is to make one video a week, and if I meet that goal, then I've successfully gotten off the couch, because you can't do it and stay on the couch. It's really fun for me because planning the trip is part of the fun. I'm a planner, I'm a project manager, so that's been one of the things that's been most fun about it is you pick a place you want to go, and then you got to figure out how to get there and all the logistics involved. And that's part of what this big trip is about. Everglades, it's our longest trip we've ever made. It's going to be a 2,000-mile round trip, and we're staying there for a week. Never been there. And, there's a lot to do if you just go find it. And that's the goal. So it's the day after Christmas, and this is trip 13. We're going to the Everglades National Park. So this will be the longest RV trip we've ever taken. We're going for the week between Christmas and New Year's. It's about 1,000 miles, and we're gonna split the trip up into 2 days on the drive down. So the next 2 days are gonna be spent driving. We're gonna go to Valdosta, stay overnight, and then go the rest of the way. Meet up with Max and Arden in Fort Myers, pick them up at the airport, and then head to Everglades City. And we'll stay there several days. And then we'll head over to Flamingo, which is on the Miami side. And then Max and Arden will fly out of Miami, and we'll start heading back to Nashville. We're not really equipped to do these long runs like this, but Emily had she had a lot of time off, so we're hitting the road. So after 2 years with the Dodge, I got no complaints. Really the only thing we've done in 2 years is I've put tires on it, and then I put a topper on the back with a bike rack or a kayak rack on top, and then my bikes stay in the back. I built a little bike rack in the back, and I keep the bikes in there all the time. So like I said, I put this camper topper on, and I built a bike rack last year, and I keep both my bikes. I've got so Emily's bike and my bike, and then I use that bike for bike packing. And then I've got my road bike as well. So I've always got my bikes with me anywhere we are. And it keeps them out of the weather and out of my normal shed. And I'm basically ready to hop out. I keep a bike pump and a bike helmet in my truck all the time. So I'm ready to go bike anywhere, anytime. And then, so we're making a big long trip this time, and I'll pull the road bike if I'm not going to use it, and I'm not. And then we can put most of our RV stuff in containers. The fireplace and extra stuff go in the back. Works well. But the only thing I might change on this is add a bigger fuel tank. Emily's back at home finishing up packing. I'm getting gas, the first of many tanks, and then I'm going to pick up Arden's suitcase and then go hook up the trailer, head back to the house. Gallons of gas, $72. So that should get me 400 miles. It's a 1,000-mile trip. The problem is with the trailer, I get about half that, so it's about 200. So I'm gonna have to put 5 tanks of gas. We're gonna spend a lot of money on gas. This is a long haul. Oh man, missed it by 2 cents. Day 2. Did over 500 miles yesterday, only 430 today. Where's my hot coffee? Emily's having a small breakfast.
I'm eating all of these.
Oh yeah, right. Don't you think 5 muffins is a little excessive?
You're so mean.
Time for the yearly bath. Scrub her down. 1,000 miles. Truck's here. That was the longest journey we've been on so far. Glad it's finished. Now we spend a week here. The other thing we did this year is we moved from the lot that we used to park our RV in to closer to our house, and it's a much nicer lot. It's paved. We started off over there, and then we wound up over here, covered spot, because it was easier to get in and out of, and it was covered. So we chose to go with a travel trailer and a truck, mainly, but well, there's a lot of reasons. The biggest reason is I didn't want a drivable RV with a motor in it. I don't want anything with a motor in it that's depreciating. I've already got to have a vehicle to drive on a daily basis. I might as well drive a truck, which has a motor in it that's depreciating. And then the trailer, you can get trailers, they're much cheaper than buying a full-blown RV, one of the Class C's, one of the big diesel pusher or all that. We're just not ready for that. And we may never be ready for that. We may be truck and trailer RVers for our whole life. It's working well for us, and it fits our kind of lifestyle. We do not have a big travel trailer. We chose to get a very small one. It's 22 feet full length. We did that because we knew we'd be going to state parks, and those are notoriously not large. So pulling a huge trailer for us is just silly. Another reason is we just don't need a lot of space. It's basically a place for us to sleep. When we're on a trip, we're out and about. We are not hanging out at the travel trailer. We go out, we unhook, and we get in the truck and we're gone most of the time, and we come home to sleep at night. And that's our typical day. With the smaller version of the trailer, we've not been in too many places where it's been, even where I've felt uncomfortable. We've been on some pretty small, windy backcountry roads, and I've never felt like I couldn't make a turn or get, backed in where I needed to go. That's the biggest problem with a travel trailer is, I did not grow up on a farm. My dad was a truck driver. He knew how to back a trailer up. I don't. I sit at a desk all day. So I've had to kind of learn how to back trailers in. We've never been in a situation where we've not been able to get backed in. There have been places where I've not gotten backed in the way that I wanted to get backed in. I just could not get the trailer where I wanted it to go. But that's on me, and that will, with time, get better and better. So, lower cost, lower expense, being able to unhook and go. Our travel trailer has worked perfectly for us. Now, in my first video about our travel trailer, I talked about how we set everything up, and that process has worked great for us. The bins in the front of the storage compartment, which you might see there, they worked perfect. Our process is down. We're pretty good at doing the things that we need to do. And then as far as upgrades to the trailer's been perfect. We thought we'd made a good decision when we bought it, and we did. Literally, the only thing that I've not liked about it is the mattress. I don't know why in the world they put the mattress on it that they did. We threw that thing in the trash and got a new mattress, and the trailer's been perfect for us. No issues. So we had a great trip in the Everglades. It was time to head home, and we got up really early, and we hit the road. We had to have Arden and Max to the airport in Miami pretty early. One good thing about hitting the road in an RV, if you get up early enough, you can watch the sunrise, and it was a pretty cool drive, driving up through the Everglades where there's literally nothing, no civilization, no lights, and watching the sunrise. It was pretty fun. Pretty unique experience. Have fun being cold.
Alright guys, keep in touch with me. Y'all eat whatever you need to do on that car. Do you have a charger? Both of you? You'll need it. Yes. Alright. Huh?
Bye, Florida. We drove from the bottom of Florida to the top of Florida one day.
And the temperature changed dramatically.
So we've done 500 miles today. We crossed 50,000 miles on the way down, and we've got another 500 to go tomorrow. We did a lot of driving on this trip. 2,000-mile journey. We left this morning at 5. We got up at 5, and we
left by 6.
Are going to pull up to the next RV spot in Valdosta, Georgia at 5 this afternoon. So we're in Georgia. So we're coming back from Florida, going back to Nashville. Florida was in the 80s, and Nashville's going to be in the 20s when we hit town. I'd already winterized the RV earlier in the year, but we were going to be in Florida for a week, so I unwinterized it, and we re-winterized the RV trailer to head back to Nashville. So we've had the RV 2 years. We made some, we bought it the first year, got used to it, and added a few things in our year 2, which I've already covered. Literally the only thing we're adding for year 3, so we got COVID. I got COVID back in February of this year, and that grounded us. We didn't do any winter camping because we winterized, and then we didn't go camping, and then our trip that we had planned for cold weather, we got canceled. But this year we're going to do some cold weather camping. We're just not going to run plumbing. And instead of running propane heat, literally the only addition this year is our little electric heater, which let us just plug in basically anywhere and run off of electricity. And I mean, this is a tiny little camper, so that one little thing it's comfortable in here now. Other than that, there's no changes to our setup in going into year 3. We're ready to roll over Tennessee, and we're going to make a big dent in our Tennessee state park list. We won't finish all the state parks in 2022, but I would imagine we'll finish them all by the next year. And by then, Emily will be retired, and I can work from anywhere. And at that point, we will probably hit the road for a while. In big chunks. Months at a time, hopefully. Just us and the big rigs, Mom. Us and the rigs. Motoring home to Mama. Is that what we're doing?
No, to Maxie.
7 hours and 20 minutes. Be home at 1:15. I project we'll be home at 5:50.
No, please don't, because we need to do the animals by 5:30.
Because we have to go through Atlanta and Chattanooga.
We're going to think positive thoughts, though.
So I hope you found that somewhat helpful. If you're deciding whether you want to head out on the road, if you want to travel along with us and see where we go ahead and subscribe. But if you don't, I'm still going to be out there rolling over the United States of America. Have fun out there.